Morning and welcome to the morning stretch. Take a comfortable cross-legged position. Join your palms together at your heart, thumbs against your chest, and just close down your eyes. Drop your chin towards your fingertips. Breathing through the nose, long inhale, long exhale. As you breathe, connect your sits bones with the floor underneath you and lift the crown of the head to the sky above you. Let your breath expand the belly as you inhale and contract the navel toward the spine as you exhale, emptying out the lungs. Just try to keep the breath moving in this way throughout our stretch this morning. Inhale, open the eyes, reach the arms up, and then bring the right hand behind you, left hand to your right thigh. Sit up tall, find the tips of your sits bones, and turn your gaze over your right shoulder. Again, stay connected through the sits bones, long through the spine, crown of the head lifting up. Hold on with the left hand on that right knee and drop the left shoulder towards the left knee, swinging the right arm up and over, getting long through the right side of the body. Breathe into the length on the right side. And then place your right hand on your left knee, square over your sits bones, and drop your chin to the cross and the elbows. And then inhale the back of the heart up, hollowing the belly, drawing the navel up to the spine. Lifting the back of the heart as you inhale. And then keep a hold with the right hand. Take the left hand and reach behind you. Sit up tall on your sits bones and turn your gaze over your left shoulder. Long spine, breathing into the length of the spine. And then hold on with the right hand. Drop that right shoulder to the right knee. Sweep that left arm up and over, staying grounded through the left sits bone, getting long through the left side of the body. And then take the left hand to the right knee again. Cross the elbows, bring your chin down to the cross and the elbows, and inhale the back of the heart up through your shoulder blades, hollowing out the belly. Just go ahead and sit up, draw your knees in, and we're going to roll onto our backs. Draw your knees in toward your chest. Let your knees separate hip distance. Circle your arms around your knees gently. And gently start rocking side to side. Stay nice and loose in your little ball so your thigh bones are moving around in your hip joints. Kind of massaging them from the inside. And then clasp the hands together, place them around the right knee, straighten the left leg. Let the right knee open out into your natural hip turnout. Flex the left foot as if you're standing on the ground and start spinning the right ankle. Let's get those morning crackles out. And then take your left hand to the right knee and bring the right knee across the body, extend the right arm out. And let the right knee hang heavy, relax. Don't press into it too much with the left hand. And just breathe. Use the breath to release. Gently waking up the body this morning. And then roll back to your back. Cross your ankle over either your thigh or your shin. And let your knee hang and open up your hip flexor, your inner thigh. Just kind of relax into the stretch. And then slowly bend the left knee. So you're in this figure four position. You can use your hand to kind of press that thigh open if you like, or just let it rest. Your call. If you want a little more stretch, you can take your hands and reach behind your left thigh, lift your left leg off the ground, and draw your ankle a little closer to your face. Then rock side to side. A little rocking is a great way to wake up your body, kind of gently move into a stretch. As long as you're breathing, you're in a safe space. And then go ahead and put the left foot down. Extend the right foot up towards the ceiling. Hands are next to your hips. Flex the right foot so you're really activating the back of the leg, and then spin the right ankle. lower the leg down. And draw the left or the right leg, and the left leg is going to pass the hands, and let that left knee fall into your natural kind of hip turnout. Draw it up towards your left shoulder, flex the right foot, and spin the left ankle. And then hold on to the left knee with the right hand, bring it across the body, extend the left arm out. Let the weight of the left leg encourage your spine to open, soften, lengthen. Wake up. And then we're going to bring the knee across, or the foot across the right knee, or else the shin, if that feels better on your hip. And just let your knee hang heavy, gently encouraging that left hip flexor, left inner thigh to open. And then bending the right leg, place the sole of the right foot on the mat. You're in this figure 4 position. You can gently massage your inner thigh, working on opening that hip. If you want a little bit more, you can lift the right knee off the ground, grab the back of the right thigh with the hands. Take a little rock side to side. Then go ahead and put the right foot down, extend the left foot up, hands are on the mat, and circle your left ankle. And then join the left leg with the right. Flex both feet up towards the ceiling. Don't lock out your knees. You can keep your knees soft, but flex your feet. You should feel a good stretch in your hamstring, your calf, just waking up the legs a little bit. And then point the toes and see if you can draw the knees towards your chest, lifting your lower back and tailbone off the mat. So rounding through the lower back. And then do that again. Extend the feet towards the ceiling, flex the feet, and then point the toes and draw the knees towards the chest. And then we're going to start making this a little more fluid, pressing up towards the ceiling, point the toes, and then draw the knees towards the chest. Up towards the ceiling, point the toes, and then draw the knees towards the chest. Kind of a bicycle motion here. And the next time we go up towards the ceiling, we're going to start rocking. So grab your hands behind your thighs, point your toes, and start moving up. And then flex back to the ceiling and point. Just waking up the back, heating it up, giving a little massage on the floor. And then come on up to an upright position and find your way to your hands and knees. Plant your palms shoulder distance apart underneath your shoulders, your knees hip distance apart underneath your hips. We're going to do a couple cat-cows. So begin by dropping the tailbone, hollowing the belly, lifting the navel into the spine, and drop the crown of the head to point to the space between your hands. Take a couple breaths here, letting the back of the heart rise on the inhale, pressing into the palms and the feet on the exhale. Next exhale, let's go into cow. So drop the chest, curl the tailbone, get long through the belly. Keep the navel lifting up as you lift the heart towards the front of your mat. And then press into the palms, drop the tailbone, lift the back of the heart up, drop the crown of the head. Again, pressing the back of the heart up through your shoulder blades. And then reverse into cow, drop the chest, curl the tailbone up, lift the heart and get long through the belly. And then come on into that neutral position. Lift your navel into your spine, engaging through the core. We're going to lift the right heel up to hip height. You can stay here, or if you want to try to find a little balance and further engage your core, you can lift your left arm to your left ear. Keep the navel drawing into the spine, ribs are drawing together, supporting your core. And point the right toes, lift the fingers and the toes a little bit so you're activating the back side of the body. And then we're going to hollow the belly and tap the left elbow to the right knee. And then extend it back out. And again, point the toe, lift the fingers and the toes, activate the back side of the body. And then hollow the belly, tap the elbow to the knee. And then come on back out straight. Place your hand back on the mat. Lower your right foot to the mat. See if you can turn your left foot a little bit toward A lot for your knee. Don't turn your foot, just keep your foot underneath your body. And wherever you are, see if you can find a little movement, a little rocking side to side, particularly in the morning when you can rock in your stretches, make them a little bit more dynamic, makes the stretch a little bit less intense, takes some of the edges off, and just gives you a lot of information about where your body is today, which is a good way to start the day. Then go ahead and come on back up to your hands and knees. You do the same thing on the other side. So find first that strong tabletop position, long spine, engage core, and then take the left foot, extend it back and lift it up to hip height. And kind of gauge where your balance is. Weight that left hand a little bit more and lift the right arm to the right ear. It's a nice, strong, long tabletop. Then point the toes with the fingers and the toes, activate the back side of the body a bit, and then hollow the belly. Tap the right elbow to the left knee and then come on back to your tabletop. Again, point the toes, extend, activate, and then hollow elbow to the knee. Back out to your tabletop. Place the right hand on the mat under your shoulder, left foot back behind you. Remember, you can bring your right toes a little closer to the left side of the mat and simply slide back into your pigeon pose. If that's a lot for your knee, remember to keep your leg more under your body. And again, find some rocking motion. Just gather some information about where your hips are today, how your lower back is feeling, where you're holding tension. Just use your breath, use a little movement to gather your information. And then we're going to come on back to our hands and knees. Your knees are going to be hip distance apart. Turn your fingertips to face your knees. I'd say bring them in a little bit closer to your knees, not quite touching, but almost. And then see if you can sit back towards your heels. This is a big wrist stretch. This is a good one. So rocking side to side again, or doing little figure eights even. And if it's too much to have your wrists in front of you, put them next to your knees and do the same thing. And you can kind of bend your arms a little bit to see where your edges are. And just rocking side to side, figure eights. This is a great stretch for you to do throughout your day. It helps sort of counteract a lot of computer work, a lot of that sort of fine motor work that we do during the day with our hands and our fingers. It helps prevent carpal tunnel syndrome. So great, great one to do. Okay, now we're going to flip the hands. You're in the back of the hands are next to the knees, shifting the stretch around a little bit more. You should feel this more on the top of the hand, front of the wrist, forearm. Same thing, rocking, finding some figure eights. And then go ahead and just sit up on your heels and clasp your hands together. We're going to roll the wrists. So just rolling again, getting those morning crackles out as best you can. And switch direction. And then do a little stop sign with your left hand. Grab your left fingertips with your right fingertips and draw them back towards your face. So just keep your left wrist still. Draw your fingertips back towards your face. You should feel a nice stretch in the wrist. And then switch stop sign with the right hand, fingertips back towards your face. And now we're going to move into the feet. We're going to wake up the feet. So turn your toes under. So you've got a nice curl happening in your toes. And send your sits bones back over your heels. This may be exactly where you want to stay, and that's totally fine. But if you want, you can also sit up on your feet. So sort of figure out where you are, where your feet are, your toes, the arches of the feet, and go there. If you're upright and that feels good, you can also clasp the hands and reach overhead. Wherever you are, whether you're here or all the way up here, we're going to rock side to side and try to weight individually all 10 toes as we go. So rocking side to side. It's really is an intense stretch for the feet. Our feet are used to being held in shoes, especially really strong, stiff, supportive shoes. This is a great way to wake up your feet. Then hands to your knees, we're going to roll through the length of the foot. So starting with the toes, coming to the balls of the feet, rolling over the arches. Send your heels back if you can, maybe even find a little balance. And then go back, forward, knees touching the mat. And just go at your own pace, rolling through the entire foot, working on our foot flexibility. Your feet are really important for your balance. So it's important to keep a relationship with your feet, to keep your feet moving. The next time you roll forward, we're just gonna walk our hands forward, separate our knees the distance of the mat. See if you can touch your big toes. And then settle back into an open child's pose, watching your fingertips forward, dropping your chest, sinking into your hips. And just stay here for a few breaths. Gather some information as you breathe. How are your hips feeling? How are your shoulders feeling? What are you noticing? And then from here, we're going to keep our toes glued together. We're going to come forward into a modified upward dog. So try to keep your toes lifting up towards your glutes. Your hips are reaching towards your wrists. So you're letting your glutes drop down. You're letting your hips drop towards the mat, getting long through the belly. And then moving the legs back, we're going to straighten out the knees and the feet so they're hip distance apart. We're going to go into puppy pose. So walk your fingertips towards the top of the mat, drop your chest, keep your hips lifting up, and get long through the front of the body. And then from here, we're going to just roll forward into Sphinx pose. So your hips are on the mat, your forearms are on the mat. You're going to energetically draw your elbows back towards your hips and your hips towards your elbows without moving your body, but you'll feel the length through your belly, getting long through the abdominals. And then turn your toes under. Come on up into a forearm plank. Take a breath, and then come on up into a full plank. Engage your glutes, drop your tailbone, and then press back to downward dog. And downward dog, we're just gonna walk in place. So treading through the feet, alternating, pressing one heel to the mat and then the other. And then flip your foot over and stretch the front of the foot and alternate doing that. And then go ahead and hold still in your downward dog, feet are hip distance. Let's take a couple breaths here, check in. Then we're going to step forward with the right foot up between the hands. Go ahead and drop the left knee. You can come to your fingertips or stay on your palms. We're going to lift our chest towards the front of the mat and just sink into our hips. So you'll be feeling a nice opening in your left hip flexor. You'll be feeling some opening in your right hip joint. So just melt here. Let your hips kind of melt in this more open, soft, relaxed space. Keep breathing. And then press into your hands, press into your right foot, and send your sits bones back towards your left heel, forward folding over the right leg. Keep the right knee soft so it's relaxed. Your hamstring and calf can still get a stretch, even though it's not locking out. Keep your foot pointed and connected to the mat so get a stretch through the front of the foot and up the shin. And then come on back. Take a high lunge here and then step back to plank, back to downward dog. And we're going to do the same thing on the left side. So step forward with the left foot between the hands, drop the right knee, lift the chest, come to your fingertips, sink into your hips. Remember, you're just holding and breathing and they're melting. And press through the sole of the left foot, send your sits bones back, forward fold. Soft left knee. And then come on back into your high lunge. Step back to your plank, press back to your downward dog. Let's take a couple breaths here. Long, even breath. Let the belly expand on the inhale, contract on the exhale. One more time. Now we're going to step outside the right hand with the right foot. Again, drop that left knee, lift the heart. You can stay on your palms, or if you want a little deeper stretch in that right hip joint, you can come to your forearms, your choice. Experiment with rocking side to side. Kind of Come back to your palms. If you're on your forearms, we're going to flex the right foot, lift the toes towards the ceiling as we send our sits bones back towards our left heel. Keep the right knee soft, forward fold. And then come on back into your high lunge. Step back to your plank. Go back to your downward dog. Take a breath. And step forward with the left foot. Outside your hands, drop your right knee. Lift your heart, either stay on your palms or come to your forearms. Find a little rocking motion so you can move a little more easily and deeply into your hips. And then we're going to come back to our palms, peel the toes off the mat, stretch them towards the ceiling, and send your sits bones back, forward fold. And then come on forward into that high lunge. Step back to your plank. Come back to your downward dog. Take a breath. And step forward with your right foot. We're going to come on up into warrior one. So arms are overhead. Drop your shoulders. Make sure your knee is over your left ankle. And then open out to warrior two. Your arms come out shoulder height. Your left knee stays on top of your left ankle. And then we're going to straighten the left leg and just heel toe our feet together a couple times. Clasp the hands behind the head. Squeeze the back of the neck. Lift the head up off the neck. And bend your knees so your knees are over your ankles. Tip your right elbow towards your right knee. Get long through the left side of the body. Take a couple breaths. Imagine the left side of your rib cage is breathing. So take the air in on the left side. Come on back upright. And then drop the left elbow towards the left knee. Take the air in on the right side of your rib cage. And come on back up. Extend the arms towards the ceiling. We're going to turn back towards the front of the mat. And with a bent knee, we're going to go into a little bit deeper lunge here. See if you can curl your pelvis forward. So really activate that right hip flexor. You can bring your hands to your hips and sink down, really lengthening through the hip flexor into the quad. And then from here, go ahead and straighten the right leg. So you're leaning a little bit over that left leg. Left knee is still over the left ankle. Hands down towards the mat, back to your plank, back to your downward dog. And step forward with the left foot. Come on up to warrior one. Arms are shoulder distance apart, fingertips reaching towards the sky, knee is over the ankle. And then extend into warrior two. You're opening out that right hip, that right foot. Big arm span here, nice strong upper body. And then go ahead and straighten the left leg and heel toe your feet in one time. This time we're going to place our hands on our hips and bend our knees and reach our hands down towards our knees. And then you're going to drop your left shoulder forward and press into your thighs. So your inner thighs are getting a bit of a stretch and you're creating a little bit of a traction scenario. So you get a little twist here. Your hips are hanging down. And breathe. And then we're going to switch sides. So back off that traction feeling. I'm going to drop the right shoulder and then press into your thighs as you lower your shoulder down and drop your hips. And come back to center. Come on up to standing. Just heel toe your feet together. We're going to do a little balancing pose this morning. I talked a few minutes ago about the connection between your brain and your feet and how important it is for balance. So let's work on our proprioception. So lift and spread the toes, set a gaze in front of you where you can rest your face, your eyes, find your stability, connect with your breath. When you're ready, we're going to take the right leg and place it either inside the left thigh or the left calf. You're welcome to hold on to a chair, piece of furniture, a wall, whatever feels good to you to find some stability. We're trying to challenge our feet, proprioceptor muscles. You can place your palms together at your heart, or you can hold on to your leg if that feels better. Just take a few breaths. Try to really calm yourself, find balance within the breath. So long inhale, long exhale. The next time you inhale, if your hands are at your heart, see if you can extend the arms up and out. So lifting them skyward, still really holding on with the balance in the left foot. Little tiny, tiny muscles, tendons, nerves, creating your ability to balance here. And bring your hands back to the heart. Release. Do the same thing on the other side. So lift and spread the toes, reconnect the feet with their foundation. Relink with your breath, your gaze, relaxed and focused. When you're ready, left leg comes up. Again, inner thigh or calf, just not your knee. You want to stay away from pressing. Palms together at your heart, holding onto your chair, your wall, hands on the hips or holding the foot, whatever feels comfortable to you, just finding some balance and peace within the breath. And inhale the fingertips up, opening out. And hands back to the heart and release. Go ahead and find your way to the top of your mat. We're going to do the beginning of a sun salutation to get back to the floor. So inhale the arms up, touch your palms together overhead, look to your thumbs, and then bring your hands to your heart, forward fold, place your hands on your thighs and drop the crown of the head to point towards the mat. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, bend the knees, crouch down, and then step back into a plank position. Lower the knees, draw your elbows towards your ribs as you lower your entire chest to the mat, and then point the toes, reach the fingertips back towards the heels and lift everything up. Let's hold here for a breath. Be like a little boat on the water, you're kind of rocking. As you breathe, when hands go back under the shoulders, come back up into your plank and press back to downward dog. Take a couple breaths here. And then go ahead and step forward, sit down on the ground and come into Baddha Konasana. I'll face you for now. So Baddha Konasana, butterfly pose, you're going to join the soles of the feet together and you can decide how close or how far you want your feet from your body. Thumbs are going to be at the base of the big toe and the bottom of the foot, and fingertips are going to be on top of the feet. The idea is to work to open your feet like a book. So you'll notice as you do that, you're getting a little ankle stretch there. You're also getting your knees to open up and lengthen and relax, which also then encourages the hips to relax. So this is a great one just to do for your lower body to get a little lower back release, help your knee and ankle health. So working to open your feet like a book and finding a place where you can hold them comfortably. Draw your elbows towards your waist and sit up nice and tall. Find the tips of your sits bones, lift the crown of the head up and breathe. And then from here, just keep hold of your feet. We're going to lean back and hollow out the belly. So imagine that someone placed a little beach ball in your lap and you're trying to create space for it with your arms and your belly. Drop your chin towards your chest. Back of the heart is reaching back, navel drawing into the spine. Breathe into that space in the back of the body. And then hold on to the feet and see if you can kind of pull on the feet, opening your elbows out towards your knees and curl over that beach ball without touching it, but you're going to point your nose towards your toes. So keeping the space for the beach ball as you draw your nose closer to your toes. And then go ahead and just sit up. Keep your feet as they are. We're going to lay onto our backs for Supta Baddha Konasana. Take your right hand to your heart. Take your left hand to your belly. Also, I want to say, if this feels like too much on your hips to hold this for a minute or so, bring your knees together, place your feet the distance of the mat and let your knees walk together. So you decide which one feels best on your hips. Go ahead and just close your eyes, feeling your breath moving through the body. You can feel it in your belly. You can feel it in your chest. And then go ahead and take your left hand and place it over your right at your heart. I invite you to hold in your mind and hold in your heart one thing you feel grateful for this morning. And go ahead and open up your eyes. Wherever your knees are, draw them in towards your chest. Give yourself a little hug, little rock side to side. And then just like we did in the beginning, we're going to start rocking, energizing through the spine. And then rocking up to a seated position, whatever feels comfortable for you. Namaste. Enjoy your day. I hope the morning stretch got you set off on the right foot. See you soon.